The Last Stand. The skies above Earth burned. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the ESS Defiant, her weathered face illuminated by the fiery destruction raining down on her homeworld. Massive Zarkul warships hung in low orbit, their energy weapons carving swaths of devastation across continents. "Status report," Chen barked, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding before her. Lieutenant Rodriguez, his uniform stained with sweat and grime, responded without looking up from his console. "Our orbital defense grid is at 12% capacity, Admiral. Ground-based ion cannons are still operational in North America and parts of Asia, but they're barely making a dent in the Zarkul shields." Chen's jaw tightened. The Zarkul invasion had begun 3 months ago, and humanity had been pushed to the brink. The alien armada had appeared without warning, their technology centuries beyond Earth's most advanced systems. They'd swept aside the combined space fleets of Earth's nations in a matter of days. Now, all that stood between humanity and extinction was a ragtag fleet of survivors, with the ESS Defiant as its flagship. "What about the civilian evacuations?" Chen asked, her eyes fixed on the burning planet below. "Lunar colonies are at 200% capacity," Rodriguez replied. "Mars outposts are taking in as many as they can." But he trailed off, the unspoken truth hanging heavy in the air. There simply wasn't enough time or resources to save everyone. Chen's second-in-command, Captain Yuki Tanaka, approached with a datapad. "Admiral, we've detected a breach in the Zarkul formation. It could be our chance to strike at their command ship." Chen studied the tactical display, her mind racing. It was a slim chance, but perhaps their only hope of buying more time for the evacuations. "Relay coordinates to all remaining ships," she ordered. "We're going to hit them with everything we've got left." As the crew scrambled to prepare for what might be their final assault, Chen allowed herself a moment of reflection. How had it come to this? Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, imagining a peaceful exchange of knowledge and culture. Instead, they'd received only destruction and terror from the stars. The ship's AI, interrupted her thoughts. "Admiral, incoming transmission from Earth Command. General Okoi is requesting to speak with you." Chen nodded, and the holographic image of General Adebayo Okoi flickered to life on the bridge. The Nigerian general's face was haggard, his uniform covered in dust and debris. "Sarah," Okoi's voice crackled with static, "we can't hold them back much longer. Our last strongholds are falling. Whatever you're planning up there, it needs to happen now." Chen met her old friend's gaze. "We're making our move, Adebayo. But I need you to hold on just a little longer. Give us time to punch through their defenses." Okoi managed a grim smile. "We'll give you every second we can." "Earth Command. Out." The transmission cut off abruptly. "All ships report ready, Admiral," Captain Tanaka announced. Chen took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. "This is Admiral Chen to all vessels," she broadcast across the fleet. "I won't lie to you. Our situation is dire. Earth burns beneath us, and the enemy seems unstoppable. But we are not finished yet." She paused, her words carrying the weight of humanity's future. "Today, we fight not just for our own survival, but for every human life that has ever been, and for all those yet to come. We fight to show these invaders that humanity will not go quietly into the night. We will rage against the dying of the light." Chen's voice grew fierce with determination. "Every one of you is a hero. Your courage, your sacrifice, will be remembered for as long as our species endures. Now let's remind the galaxy why you don't mess with Earth. All ships, engage." The remnants of Earth's fleet surged forward, a desperate spearhead aimed at the heart of the Zarkul armada. The ESS Defiant led the charge, its engines pushed beyond their limits. As they closed in on the enemy formation, the space around them erupted in a storm of energy weapons and missile fire. Earth ships fell one by one, but they pressed on, driven by the iron will of their crews. "We're approaching the breach," Tanaka reported, her hands flying over the tactical controls. Zarkol vessels moving to intercept. Chen gritted her teeth. Stay on course. All power to forward shields. Weapons, target their command ship the moment we break through. The Defiant shuddered under the impact of multiple hits. Warning klaxons blared as systems failed across the ship. But still, they drove forward, punching through the wall of enemy fire. "We're through," Rodriguez shouted. "Command ship in range. Fire everything," Chen ordered. The Defiant unleashed its full arsenal, joined by the handful of Earth ships that had made it through. Their combined firepower slammed into the massive Zarkol vessel, overwhelming its shields and tearing into its hull. For a moment, hope flared in Chen's chest. Then, a blinding light filled the view screen. Massive energy buildup in the Zarkol ship, Tanaka yelled. "It's going to." The explosion ripped through space, engulfing the Defiant and the surrounding ships. As consciousness faded, Chen's last thought was of Earth, and the hope that their sacrifice might have bought humanity a fighting chance. In the aftermath of the battle, as the Zarkol regrouped and Earth's defenders struggled to regroup, no one noticed a small, stealthed vessel slipping away from the carnage. On board, a lone figure watched the devastation with grim determination. "Araya," the figure spoke softly, "set course for Bastion. It's time to awaken the sleepers." As the ship disappeared into the depths of space, Earth's fate hung in the balance. But unknown to both humanity and their alien invaders, a hidden force was about to enter the fray, one that would change the course of the war and the future of the galaxy itself. The Hidden Fleet, deep within the Kuiper Belt, far beyond the reach of Earth's sensors or the Zarkol invasion fleet, a massive structure shimmered into existence as its cloaking field deactivated. Bastion Station, a secret installation known only to a select few, housed humanity's last desperate hope. Commander Elena Vega stood in the control center, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display, showing the carnage around Earth. The lone stealth ship that had escaped the battle entered the hangar, and minutes later, a figure in a battered flight suit strode onto the bridge. "Report, Lieutenant Commander Zhang," Vega ordered, her voice taut with tension. David Zhang, still bearing the marks of recent combat, saluted. "It's worse than we feared, Commander. Earth's defenses are on the verge of collapse. Admiral Chen and the main fleet." He paused, swallowing hard. "They're gone." Vega closed her eyes for a moment, allowing herself a brief instant of mourning for her former mentor. When she opened them again, they blazed with determination. "Then it's time. Initiate Project Phoenix." Zhang nodded, turning to the array of cryopods lining the walls of the vast chamber. Each pod contained a specially selected and trained crew member, kept in suspended animation for this very moment. "Awakening sequences initiated," he reported. "It'll take about an hour for the first wave to be combat ready." As the cryopods hummed to life, Vega addressed the small cadre of personnel who had maintained Bastion Station in secret for years. "This is what we've prepared for. Humanity faces extinction, and we are its last line of defense. The Phoenix fleet may be outnumbered and outgunned, but we have surprises in store for the Zarkol." She gestured to the hangar bay, where rows of sleek, angular ships stood ready. "Our vessels incorporate reversed-engineered technology from the Roswell incident, and other contact SAR ships may be few, but they're more advanced than anything Earth has fielded before." The next hour was a flurry of activity as awakened crew members were briefed and assigned to their ships. Vega watched with a mix of pride and apprehension as the Phoenix fleet prepared for launch. Each vessel was a marvel of human ingenuity and alien technology, designed to stand toe-to-toe with Zarkol warships. As Vega boarded the flagship, christened the ESS Rising Dawn, Zhang fell into step beside her. "The element of surprise is our greatest weapon," he said. "But once it's gone, we'll be in for the fight of our lives." Vega nodded grimly. "Then we better make our first strike count." The hangar bay doors of Bastion Station yawned open, and the Phoenix fleet emerged into the void. 12 ships, each a testament to humanity's resilience and adaptability, formed up around the rising dawn. All ships, this is Commander Vega. She broadcast to the fleet. Our mission is clear. We will strike at the heart of the Zarkol invasion force, shatter their offensive, and buy time for Earth to recover and counterattack. We carry with us the hopes and dreams of every human being. Failure is not an option. As the fleet accelerated towards the inner solar system, Vega turned to her tactical officer. Lieutenant Osaka, what's the status of our stealth systems? Yuki Osaka, her fingers dancing over holographic controls, replied, Phantom drives are operating at peak efficiency, Commander. We're completely invisible to standard detection methods. For 3 days, the Phoenix fleet ghosted through the solar system, evading Zarkol patrols with ease. As they approached Mars orbit, they received their first real test. Zarkol destroyer at 2 o'clock, Zhang warned. They're on an intercept course. Vega leaned forward in her command chair. Hold position. Let's see if our stealth tech is as good as we hope. The bridge crew held their breath as the alien vessel passed within kilometers of their position. Tense seconds ticked by, but the destroyer continued on its way, oblivious to the human fleet hiding in plain sight. A collective sigh of relief swept through the rising dawn. Vega allowed herself a small smile. Well done, everyone. Now let's go save our planet. As they neared Earth, the true scale of the devastation became apparent. The once blue world was scared with burning continents and roiling smoke clouds. Zarkol ships hung in orbit like vultures, raining death upon the surface. Multiple high-value targets detected, Osaka reported, including what appears to be their command ship. Vega studied the tactical display, her mind racing through potential strategies. We'll only get one shot at this, she mused. Lieutenant Commander Zhang, prepare to deploy the NOVA warheads. Zhang's eyes widened. The NOVA, neutron overload velocity amplified. Warheads were the product of decades of secret research, combining human nuclear technology with theoretical alien physics. Each one packed enough punch to vaporize a small moon. Targeting solutions locked in, Osaka confirmed. Ready on your command. Vega took a deep breath, acutely aware that the next few moments would determine the fate of her species. All ships, this is Commander Vega. Disengage stealth systems and launch NOVA warheads on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. In an instant, the Phoenix fleet shimmered into view, catching the Zarkol completely off guard. Before the alien vessels could react, a dozen miniature suns blossomed in the space around them. The effect was devastating. Zarkol ships caught in the blast radius simply ceased to exist, while others spun out of control, their systems overloaded by the massive energy release. Direct hit on the command ship. Zhang shouted over the chaos of battle stations' klaxons. Vega allowed herself no time for celebration. All ships, engage. Target their heavy cruisers and cut off their retreat vectors. The Phoenix fleet surged forward, unleashing a barrage of weapons that the Zarkol had never encountered before. Gravity lances disrupted their shield harmonics, while phased plasma torpedoes bypassed their defenses entirely. For the first time since the invasion began, the Zarkol found themselves on the defensive. Confusion reigned in their ranks as this unknown human fleet tore through their formation with impunity. But the aliens were not about to go down without a fight. As they recovered from the initial shock, they began to coordinate their efforts, focusing their overwhelming numbers against the human vessels. We've lost the Aegis and the Bulwark, Osaka reported, her voice tight. The Dauntless is reporting heavy damage. Vega gripped the arms of her command chair. They were inflicting serious damage, but the sheer number of Zarkol ships was starting to tell. Keep pressing the attack, she ordered. We need to break their hold on Earth orbit. As the battle raged on, a new transmission cut through the comm chatter. This is General Okoi to Unknown Fleet. Whoever you are, you've given us a chance. We're launching everything we have left. Let's send these bastards packing. Vega felt a surge of fierce joy as she watched the tactical display. From the surface of Earth, a swarm of fighters and ground-based weapon platforms joined the fray, catching the Zarkol in a deadly crossfire. "Commander," Jean called out, excitement evident in his voice, "we're detecting multiple FTL signatures approaching. It's the lunar and Martian defense fleets. They must have been in hiding, waiting for an opportunity." For the first time in months, hope blossomed in Vega's chest. As reinforcements poured in from across the solar system, the tide of battle began to turn decisively in humanity's favor. The Zarkol, their command structure in chaos and their forces divided, began a fighting retreat. Ship after ship winked out of existence as they fled for the edges of the system. Hours later, as the last alien vessel disappeared into FTL, an eerie quiet settled over Earth orbit. The Phoenix fleet, battered but unbroken, took up defensive positions around the planet. Vega stood at the view screen, gazing down at the wounded but liberated Earth. "Send word to all human forces and colonies," she said softly. "Earth is free." As cheers erupted across the ship and messages of jubilation poured in from around the solar system, Vega allowed herself a moment of reflection. They had won a great victory, but the war was far from over. The Zarkol would return, and humanity needed to be ready. Her thoughts were interrupted by an urgent message from Bastion Station. "Commander Vega, we're detecting an unknown signal originating from deep space. It's not Zarkol." Vega's eyebrows rose. It seemed the galaxy had more surprises in store for humanity. "Put it through," she ordered, wondering what new challenge, or opportunity, awaited them in the stars. Unexpected allies. The unknown signal pulsed steadily, its origin far beyond the fringes of the solar system. Commander Elena Vega stood on the bridge of the ESS Rising Dawn, surrounded by her weary but triumphant crew. The victory against the Zarkol was still fresh, but this new development demanded immediate attention. "Analysis, Lieutenant Osaka?" Vega asked, her eyes fixed on the pulsating icon on the main view screen. Yuki Osaka's fingers danced over her console. "The signal doesn't match any known Zarkol frequencies, Commander. It's elegant. Far more sophisticated than anything we've encountered before." Lieutenant Commander Zhang leaned in, his brow furrowed. "Could it be a trap? The Zarkol trying to lure us out?" Vega shook her head. "Doesn't fit their MO. They're not subtle." She turned to her communications officer. "Any luck decoding the message?" Ensign Amira Khalil looked up from her station, excitement clear in her voice. "It's a repeating pattern, Commander. I think it's an invitation." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. After months of brutal conflict with one alien race, the prospect of encountering another was both thrilling and terrifying. Vega made her decision. "Relay the coordinates to Earth Command. We're going to check this out ourselves." She raised a hand to forestall the objections she could see forming. "Earth needs time to recover, and we need answers. The Phoenix fleet is best equipped to handle whatever's out there." As the Rising Dawn and its escorts prepared to venture into the unknown, urgent preparations were underway back on Earth. The devastated planet was a hive of activity as humanity rallied to rebuild and fortify against future attacks. In the ruins of Geneva, a hastily assembled council of Earth's remaining leaders convened. General Okoye, now the de facto head of Earth's combined military forces, addressed the assembly. "The Zarkol have been driven back, but they will return," he said gravely. "We must use this reprieve wisely. Commander Vega and the Phoenix fleet have bought us time, but it's up to us to ensure their sacrifice wasn't in vain." As plans were made to bolster Earth's defenses and expand humanity's presence throughout the solar system, the Phoenix fleet journeyed towards the source of the mysterious signal. Days passed as they traveled further than any human ship had before. The crew of the Rising Dawn alternated between tense anticipation and quiet reflection on the momentous events that had brought them to this point. Finally, as they approached the coordinates indicated by the signal, Osaka's console lit up. "Commander, I'm detecting a massive structure ahead. It's like nothing I've ever seen." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a colossal space station that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Its gleaming, organic-looking surface shifted and flowed like liquid metal, dotted with pulsing lights that seemed to follow some alien rhythm. "Life signs?" Vega asked, her voice hushed with awe. "Affirmative," Osaka replied. "Millions of them. And, Commander, we're being hailed." Vega straightened her uniform. On screen, the image that appeared took everyone's breath away. The being before them was vaguely humanoid, but its skin shimmered with an iridescent quality that seemed to change color with each movement. Large, multifaceted eyes regarded them with unmistakable intelligence. "Greetings, humans," the alien spoke, its voice a melodious harmony that seemed to resonate within their minds. "We are the Etheri. We have watched your struggle against the Zarkol with great interest." Vega stepped forward, her training kicking in despite her amazement. "I am Commander Elena Vega of Earth. We were honored to make your acquaintance." The Etheri's expression shifted in a way that might have been a smile. "Your species has shown remarkable resilience and ingenuity in the face of overwhelming odds. It is rare to find such qualities in a young race. We believe you have great potential." Zhang couldn't contain himself. "You've been watching us. Why didn't you help when the Zarkol attacked?" The alien's colors rippled, conveying what might have been regret. "Non-interference is one of our highest laws. We could not directly intervene. But now that you have proven yourselves, we can offer you a choice." Vega leaned forward. "What kind of choice?" "An alliance," the Etheri replied. "We can provide you with knowledge and technology to defend yourselves against the Zarkol and take your place among the galactic community. In return, we ask for your assistance in maintaining balance in this sector of the galaxy." The implications were staggering. Vega's mind raced with the possibilities, but caution tempered her excitement. "This is a decision that affects all of humanity. We'll need to consult with our leaders." The Etheri nodded, a gesture eerily similar to a human motion. "Of course, we anticipated this. Please, come aboard our station. There is much to discuss, and time is of the essence. The Zarkol will not remain defeated for long." As Vega and a small delegation prepared to board the Etheri station, she couldn't shake the feeling that humanity stood on the precipice of a new era. The stars, once so distant and hostile, now offered both peril and promise. The human delegation stepped onto the Etheri station, marveling at the advanced technology surrounding them. Walls seemed to breathe and shift, adapting to their presence. Holographic displays sprang to life, showing star charts and data streams beyond their comprehension. Their Etheri guide, introducing itself as Zephyr, led them to a vast chamber that seemed to capture the essence of the cosmos itself. The ceiling was a perfect recreation of the galaxy, stars, and nebulae swirling in breathtaking detail. "Welcome to the Nexus," Zephyr said, its form shimmering with excitement. "Here, we will show you what the galaxy truly is, and the role you might play in its future." Over the next several hours, Vega and her team received a crash course in galactic politics, history, and technology. They learned of ancient conflicts, of races that had risen and fallen, and of the delicate balance that the Etheri sought to maintain. "The Zarkol are but one of many aggressive species that seek dominion over others," Zephyr explained. "Your victory, however temporary, has shifted the balance. It has given hope to other races who resist their expansion." Zhang, his scientific curiosity piqued, asked, "Your technology? It's beyond anything we've imagined. How long would it take us to reach your level?" Zephyr's colors swirled thoughtfully. "With our guidance, decades perhaps, but it is not just technology that defines a species' place in the galaxy. It is wisdom, compassion, and the will to use power responsibly." As the presentation concluded, Vega felt both exhilarated and overwhelmed. The fate of humanity seemed to rest on the decision they would make here. "This alliance," she said carefully, What exactly would it entail for Earth? Zephyr's form coalesced into a more solid shape, conveying the gravity of the moment. We would share defensive technologies to protect your world and colonies. We would guide you in establishing diplomatic relations with other races. In return, we ask that you stand with us against those who would upset the galactic balance, including, but not limited to, the Zarkul. Vega exchanged glances with her team. The opportunity was incredible, but the responsibility was enormous. We'll need to discuss this with our leaders, she said. But speaking personally, I believe this could be the key to ensuring humanity's survival and growth. Zephyr nodded. We understand. Take the time you need. But know this, the galaxy is entering a period of great upheaval. Your actions in the coming cycles will determine not only your own fate, but that of many other species as well. As the human delegation prepared to return to their ships, laden with data and samples to analyze, Vega felt a mix of hope and trepidation. They had come seeking answers and found themselves thrust onto a galactic stage they had never imagined. Back on the rising dawn, as they set course for Earth, Vega addressed her crew. What we've learned today changes everything, she said, her voice steady despite the enormity of the situation. We went from fighting for our survival to being offered a chance to shape the future of the galaxy. The choice before us is monumental, but I believe in humanity's capacity to rise to this challenge. As the Phoenix fleet began its journey home, carrying news that would reshape human history, the stars seemed to shine with new possibility. The war with the Zarkul had been but the first step on a journey that would take humanity to the farthest reaches of the cosmos. In the depths of space, watched over by their new ethereal acquaintances, Vega allowed herself a moment of wonder. Whatever challenges lay ahead, humanity would face them not just as survivors, but as architects of their own destiny among the stars. The counterattack. 6 months had passed since humanity's first contact with the Aetheri. Earth, still bearing the scars of the Zarkul invasion, had been transformed into a hive of activity. Aetheri technology, true to their word, had accelerated human advancement by decades in mere months. Commander Elena Vega stood in the war room of the newly constructed Terran Defense Headquarters, surrounded by holographic displays showing the status of Earth's growing fleet and planetary defenses. General Okoye and other military leaders from around the world were present, both in person and via secure holograms. The Zarkul have been quiet, Okoye began, his voice grave. Too quiet. Our long-range sensors, enhanced by Aetheri tech, have detected significant movement at the edges of their territory. Vega nodded, her face set in grim determination. They're preparing for another assault. But this time, we'll be ready. A holographic representation of the Milky Way galaxy sprang to life in the center of the room. Red markers indicated known Zarkul positions, while blue showed the growing sphere of human influence. Thanks to the Aetheri, we've established outposts in key systems, Vega continued, gesturing to the map. We're no longer confined to Sol. Our shipyards are producing vessels that can go toe-to-toe with Zarkul cruisers. Zhang, now promoted to captain and commanding his own ship, chimed in from his holographic projection. The real game changer is our new FTL drive. We can match their mobility now. General Okoye leaned forward, his eyes narrowing as he studied the galactic map. We can't just wait for them to attack. We need to take the fight to them. A murmur of agreement ran through the assembled leaders. The wounds of the first invasion were still fresh, and the desire for payback was palpable. Vega took a deep breath. This was the moment she'd been preparing for. I propose Operation Thunderbolt. A coordinated strike at the heart of Zarkul space. The room fell silent as she outlined the daring plan. Using intelligence provided by the Aetheri and gathered by their own stealth ships, they had identified key Zarkul military installations and shipyards. A swift, decisive strike could cripple their war machine before it could be brought to bear against Earth again. After hours of debate and refinement, the plan was approved. Humanity would take its first steps as a true interstellar power, not just defending its home, but projecting force across the galaxy. As the meeting adjourned, Vega found herself alone with General Okoye. The old soldier placed a hand on her shoulder, his eyes reflecting a mix of pride and concern. "You've come a long way from commanding a hidden fleet, Alina," he said softly. "The fate of our species rests on your shoulders now." Vega nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. "We won't let Earth down, sir. The Zarkol started this war, but we're going to finish it." Weeks later, the combined Terran fleet assembled at the edge of Sol system. Over 100 ships, ranging from nimble frigates to massive dreadnoughts, formed up around the flagship Terra Nova. Each vessel was a marvel of human ingenuity and ethery technology, crewed by the best and brightest Earth had to offer. On the bridge of the Terra Nova, Vega looked out at the assembled armada. This was more than just a military force. It was the vanguard of humanity's future among the stars. "All ships, this is Commander Vega," she broadcast across the fleet. "Today we carry the hopes and dreams of every human being. We fight not just for vengeance, but for our right to exist in this galaxy. The Zarkol thought they could exterminate us. Today, we proved them wrong." A chorus of acknowledgments came from the fleet commanders. Vega nodded to her navigation officer. "Engage FTL drives. Operation Thunderbolt is go." In a flash of blue light, the Terran fleet vanished, leaving behind a silent solar system and a waiting Earth. The journey to Zarkol space took mere hours, a testament to the incredible advancements humanity had made. As they dropped out of FTL on the outskirts of the Zarkol home system, tension on the bridge of the Terra Nova was palpable. "Status report," Vega demanded, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. Lieutenant Osaka's fingers flew over her console. "No signs of detection yet, Commander. Their orbital defenses are formidable, but nothing we didn't expect." Captain Zhang's face appeared on a side screen. "My task force is in position, Alina, ready to begin Phase 1 on your order." Vega took a deep breath. This was it. "All ships, execute Phase 1. May fortune favor the bold." The battle erupted with stunning ferocity. Zhang's task force, composed of the fastest and stealthiest ships in the fleet, struck at the Zarkol's outer defense platforms. Advanced ECM suites, courtesy of the ethery, kept them hidden until the last possible moment. Caught completely off guard, the Zarkol defenses crumbled under the precision assault. As alarms blared across their system, the main Terran fleet moved in. Multiple Zarkol capital ships detected, Osaka reported, her voice tight with tension. "They're scrambling to form a defensive line." Vega's eyes narrowed. "Not fast enough. All ships, engage at will. Target their command and control nodes first." The space around the Zarkol homeworld erupted into chaos. Terran ships, their hulls gleaming with new technology, traded fire with the alien vessels. But where once the Zarkol had enjoyed overwhelming superiority, now they found themselves evenly matched. Vega watched the battle unfold, issuing orders and adjusting strategy on the fly. The Zarkol fought with the desperation of a cornered animal, but the precision and coordination of the Terran fleet was relentless. Hours passed, the tide of battle ebbing and flowing. Terran ships fell, their crews making the ultimate sacrifice. But for every human vessel lost, multiple Zarkol ships were reduced to drifting wreckage. "Commander," Zhang's voice cut through the din of battle, "we've located their primary shipyards, requesting permission to deploy the NOVA warheads." Vega hesitated for a split second. The destruction of the Zarkol shipyards would cripple their ability to wage war, but the loss of life would be catastrophic. She thought of Earth, of the millions who had died in the invasion, of the future stolen. "Permission granted, Captain. End this." The NOVA warheads, now refined and even more powerful than before, streaked towards their targets. The resulting explosions were visible from the surface of the Zarkol homeworld, miniature suns blooming in orbit. As the blinding light faded, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. The remaining Zarkol ships, Their command structure in chaos and their industrial capacity in ruins began to retreat. "They're running," Osaka reported, disbelief evident in her voice. "The Zarkol fleet is in full retreat." A cheer went up across the Terran fleet, but Vega remained focused. "Maintain battle stations. This isn't over yet." As if in answer to her caution, a new signal cut across the comm channels. It was the Zarkol High Command, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Attention Terran fleet," the alien voice grated, a mix of rage and fear evident even through the translation. "You have won this day. We request terms for cessation of hostilities." Vega exchanged glances with her bridge crew, seeing her own shock mirrored in their faces. The Zarkol, the scourge that had nearly wiped out humanity, were suing for peace. With steady hands, Vega opened a channel to respond. The words she would speak next would shape the future of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. The war might be over, but humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning. A new dawn. The Terran Zarkol armistice was signed aboard the neutral ground of an aethery diplomatic vessel hanging in space between the two fleets. Commander Elena Vega, now hailed as the hero of humanity, stood across from the Zarkol's supreme leader, Kithax. The contrast between them was stark. Vega, straight-backed and composed, and Kithax, his chitinous exoskeleton dulled with stress and defeat. As the terms were read out, demilitarized zones, technology exchange protocols, reparations, Vega couldn't help but marvel at how quickly the galaxy had changed. Just a year ago, humanity had been on the brink of extinction. Now they were dictating terms to their former oppressors. The signing complete, Kithax fixed Vega with all four of his compound eyes. "You have bested us, human," he chittered, mandibles clicking with each word. "But know this, the galaxy is vast and full of dangers. Your victory today may be your undoing tomorrow." Vega met his gaze steadily. "We'll take our chances, Supreme Leader. Humanity has learned that we're stronger when we face challenges together, a lesson your people might benefit from as well." As the Terran fleet began its journey home, news of their victory spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Worlds that had lived under the shadow of Zarkol aggression for centuries celebrated their newfound freedom. Offers of alliance and trade poured in from a dozen different species, each eager to court the favor of the galaxy's new rising power. Back on Earth, the celebrations were tempered with solemnity. The cost of victory had been high, and memorials to the fallen were erected alongside monuments to humanity's triumph. In the rebuilt cities and the new orbital habitats, people looked to the stars not with fear, but with hope and curiosity. 5 years after the armistice, Vega stood on the observation deck of Unity Station, the massive space habitat that now served as humanity's gateway to the stars. Below her, Earth shone like a blue jewel, its scars hidden by distance and time. "Quite a view, isn't it?" The voice belonged to Dr. Yuki Osaka, now the head of Earth's premier Xenoscience Institute. "Sometimes I still can't believe how far we've come." Vega nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "We've made incredible strides, but we can't afford to become complacent." The Aethery warned that there are older, more dangerous forces stirring in the galaxy. As if on cue, alarms began to blare throughout the station. Vega and Osaka rushed to the command center, where a holographic display showed a massive energy signature at the edge of the solar system. "Report," Vega barked, falling easily back into command mode. A young officer, her uniform bearing the patch of the newly formed Terran Space Force, responded crisply. "Unknown vessel, ma'am. It doesn't match any known configuration. It's massive." The display zoomed in, revealing a ship that defied description. It seemed to be made of pure energy, constantly shifting and reforming. As they watched, a message began to transmit across all frequencies. "Children of Earth," a voice resonated, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "You have taken your first steps into a larger universe. Now you face your greatest trial. The precursors have awakened, and the fate of all sentient life hangs in the balance. Vega and Osaka exchanged glances, a mix of excitement and trepidation in their eyes. This was why humanity had fought so hard to survive, to claim their place among the stars. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them head-on. "Send word to our allies," Vega ordered, her voice steady and determined. "And prepare the fleet. It seems our next great adventure is about to begin." As the station burst into activity, Vega took a moment to look back at Earth. From a primitive world cowering under alien invasion to a budding interstellar power in just a few short years, humanity had come so far. And yet she knew their journey was only just beginning. The unknown ship hung in space, a silent challenge and an invitation. Humanity stood on the brink of cosmic revelations, poised to play a role in events beyond their wildest imaginations. The war with the Zarkol had been but a prelude. The true saga of humanity's place in the universe was about to unfold. As ships began to launch from Earth and its colonies, as allies across the galaxy pledged their support, and as the mysterious precursor vessel waited patiently at the edge of known space, one thing became clear. Humanity's destiny lay among the stars, and they were ready to seize it with both hands. The epic tale of human perseverance, ingenuity, and courage had opened a new chapter. Whatever trials awaited them in the vast cosmic ocean, humanity would face them united, their spirit unbroken, their determination unshakable. For Elena Vega and all of humanity, the greatest adventure was just beginning. The stars beckoned, full of peril and promise, and humanity answered the call with open hearts and minds, ready to write their legend across the cosmos. As the Terran fleet assembled once more, preparing to meet this new challenge, Vega felt a surge of pride and purpose. This was what it meant to be human, to face the unknown with courage, to unite in the face of adversity, and to reach ever outward, seeking knowledge and understanding. "All ships, prepare for departure," she commanded, her voice carrying across the vast fleet. "Our next great journey awaits." And with that, humanity took its next bold step into the galactic community, ready to shape the future of not just their own species, but of all sentient life in the cosmos. The stars had once seemed cold and distant, but now they shone with the light of infinite possibilities. The saga of humanity's rise from near extinction to cosmic significance had only just begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again.